kind of associate real miserable times with the weather, heat, extreme heat maybe, or that kind of cold, or elevation in the Bighorn Mountains. When I got too high of an elevation, I just kept throwing up and couldn't stop. I can think of races where I say miles 30 through 70 were really painful, but you just keep pushing through them and moving through them. And you learn to kind of wrap your head around the pain and embrace it as, like I said, as discomfort instead of as pain. And just something that you move through. When you're finished, immediately after a finish, you feel like you're in a bubble. Probably has to do with the sleep deprivation piece. It feels weird talking to people and so on, you know. It's kind of like when you've been tripping acid, you've come down or something like that. You know, it's like you're not sure really if that other person is going to melt or not, or you know, if they're really, though, if you're just on such a different wavelength than other people, you know. And you know that if you stop moving, you're probably going to fall asleep, no matter what's going on around you. So I think a lot of it has to do with that sleep deprivation. The first night, you never really sleep, though. You're waking up cramping, and you're just, usually I wake up just completely soaked sheets from sweat. It usually takes a couple nights before I really am able to sleep. Same with eating. I can eat bits and pieces, that kind of thing. There's a great feeling of accomplishment, like, wow, I made it, of course, but usually that piece of it takes a few days to really process and sink through too. And that's why I love these things, because you don't know if you're going to make it. You know, it's so different from the neighborhood 5K where everybody at the starting line is most likely going to finish. I'm not knocking that neighborhood 5K either. But it's just a completely different thing at the start of 100, where a third of the people may make it to the finish line, and you don't know if you're going to be one of those people, and what you're going to encounter that day, either externally or internally, that you might be hopefully able to move through to get to the finish. The surreal beauty of night running is what first pops into my mind. Zumbro, a hill of ice and rock to take bones and teeth. Pinholes of headlamps bobbing across a distant ridge. The crunch of snow covers mud, sand, steam, and when I stop, say it's to tie a shoe, the high-pitched songs of coyotes silence that owl who's been whispering, scratching my brain since midnight. Superior, stars so thick I could grab handfuls from that sky. So much heat, and this air blankets me, scrapes my skin and scalp. Water tumbles rocks far below, and bats flit through that setting moon, red as a burning ember. At Beaverhead, I wander down the mountain and through what I first think is a field of boulders that transform into cows, standing, bellowing, running from me. There's a lovely solitude that comes from being on the trail at night, even when running with others, a sense of peace, a sense of being in a holy place. A sense of being holy, a sense of being whole.